What is up, everybody? I am Kevin Ioli, and I am really excited. I don't know about you guys, because some of you I have to question your brain, right? Because there have been people complaining about UFC 300, and I think it is an unbelievable card. And joining me right now is the guy in the main event of UFC 300, former light heavyweight champ Jamahal Hill. Jamal, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, brother. How you doing, Kev?
I am doing awesome, and I'm really excited to see you challenge the current light heavyweight champion, Alex Pereira, for the title. What do you make of all this? People are disappointed about the card. There's still one more fight to be added, but I was a little surprised to see the reaction of some folks.
Yeah, it's a little crazy, but it's understandable just because it's a simple fact of like, you know what I mean, what was promised and how it was hyped. They were promised something that was gonna blow their minds that they didn't see coming. And a lot of people already knew that me and Alex were gonna fight. So, and then it's just like, bro, he did very well hyping this card up. He did very well hyping it up and building it up. People were legitimately, like we were saying, they were expecting Conor versus Jesus.
Yes,
You know
exactly.
what I mean? So it's like you did it. I mean, he did great. He did his job. He did his job as a promoter.
Got people
100%.
talking. There's no
Mhm.
doubt. Well, you are coming back off an Achilles injury, and you're jumping right into the fire, going from winning the title and then coming back and fighting. One of the biggest stories of recent times in UFC, how quickly he's been able to get up to the top. How do you break down Alex as an opponent, and what is the biggest concern? Obviously, the punching power, but in terms of how he set things up for you.
Um, Man, you kind of wrapped a couple questions in there. So like, what is like what said that? Ask me one more
What
time.
is
What
the
was that?
biggest concern about the way he approaches fights? Like, what do you have to neutralize in order
Um,
to be able to
he's
get this?
aggressive. He's aggressive. He comes forward. He throws hard knockout punches. He's got good range. Yeah, those things. He knows. He understands fighting. He knows how to fight. He knows how to land. He knows how to win, and things like that. So yeah, it's definitely a challenge.
A lot of people think of you as this great striker. I think of you as a really complete fighter here. Do you think that your overall MMA game is better? And do you think that's where the difference ultimately is going to lie, in the fact that maybe you're a more complete MMA fighter than he is?
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, he's a challenge, but but he's a challenge, but I it's a challenge that I feel I can make look easy. I'm used to being dominant. I'm used to being challenged. Every fighter that I fought is a challenge, no matter how the fight turned out. So it's just more so just locking in, understanding what he does well, um, preparing for those things, and then going in and implementing them on fight night.
Sure. They call this MMA math, and I'm not sure I agree with this, but they talk about, well, if you beat this guy and you're fighting that guy, he got knocked out by a middleweight, right? So I guess that's my question. Does that say you're a light heavyweight and you're a good size light heavyweight, right? So do you feel like you know, if a middleweight can knock him out, that you have that ability to put him out, and is your power going to be a factor in this fight?
I mean, I personally don't look at it that way because I understand fighting. The thing about fighting is, yeah, you can say, oh, if he hits him, of course, is that you got to hit him. The thing is that people forget the difficult part of a fight is actually landing the punch and
Right.
landing it how you want it to land, landing in a way that you don't get hit back. You know what I'm saying? So to say, oh, he got knocked out by a middleweight, so yeah, Jamal should be able to knock him out. I get what they're saying as far as the connection and the power, but you still got to be able to land that punch and get in there and make that punch land. And
Right.
I definitely plan on doing that. So I definitely plan on putting him to sleep myself as well. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, like, I feel that yes, my power can will put him to sleep, can put him to sleep and put him out. It's just that logic, the way putting it that way
Right.
logically, just
The
you know
way
what I'm
we call
saying?
it MMA math. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So, let's talk about the significance of this fight for you, because anytime you're fighting for a world championship in the UFC, it's big. But you're fighting on the biggest card of the year, and Dana White's called it, this unbelievable, mind-blowing card, the greatest. And I have seen the impact that UFC 100 and UFC 200 had on other fighters, right? And it propelled them into stardom and help really, keep make their careers to a certain degree. How much do you feel like blessed, number one, to have gotten this fight, given that you thought you were going to be fighting in Rio? And then number two, what do you think it can do for your career, given that you've been out for a while and now all of a sudden you're coming back in and you're in the main event of the biggest show of the year?
I mean, I feel 1,000% blessed. I feel fully blessed. It's truly, truly remarkable and truly, truly a gift from the Most High. It's it's a monumental moment. I've never seen a card this stacked before.
Yeah.
With the names that are on this card and where those names stand at right now in time and in history of this sport, I've never seen a card stack like this. Hands down, the biggest card that I've ever seen. It's the biggest card that I've been a part of. So it's an honor, man. It's an honor. And it's an opportunity for me to go out and show the world who I am and get that how you say it, get
The
that
momentum
tag
from.
of myself as a prize fighter, as one of the top fighters in this game, establish myself as one of the known figures in this sport and in this company, so that I can do. We ultimately got into this to profit off of it, to make money and to set ourselves up to ultimately set our families up and for the future and things like that, future generations. I don't know what everybody else planning is. Some people maybe they just want to have fun with their life, but I planned on setting up my generations for futures to come, and this is another step for that. A huge step for that.
That is awesome. You won the title with an incredible performance. I mean, what did you land? 57% of your significant strikes against Glover Teixeira, who is now coaching Alex Pereira.
So they say.
What's that?
So they say. I'm pretty sure a lot more. I'm very accurate.
Yeah. So you thought it was higher than 57?
1,000%. I landed almost everything that I threw.
And I guess that what I was getting to was like, do you feel like that was peak Jamahal Hill right there? I mean, did you put yourself in?
That was 5 weeks notice. That was 5 weeks notice off the couch. I weighed 246 pounds when I took the call to fight
Oh,
Glover. You know what I mean? So I just got in the camp, deal. You know what I mean? Got in the best shape, got myself as ready as possible, and went there, and that's what I did. So I think that's the best that I can do. Not even close. That's barely scratching the surface.
wow.
You know?
Yeah, that was an impressive performance. There's no doubt about it. What about, this is what I also was impressed. You were fighting a guy in Glover Teixeira and that who was a veteran who had been in there with John Jones and all these other great fighters. And he had a big experience advantage on you. And you went in there and the moment didn't overwhelm you, nothing, right? You went out there and you performed like you had been there for 10 years. Do you feel like that said something to you about yourself, like, hey, you can raise your game when need be?
Um, yeah. I mean, I just said that to other people. I didn't say it to myself because I already knew who I was and I
Hmm.
already knew what I was capable of. So whenever it came time for that, it was just I was happy that I got to show it. You know, my level, the level that I'm on is just hard to it's just hard to explain. It's constantly rising, it's constantly going, and I don't see things like other people do.
Sure.
You know, so I feel my mind and the way I see things and my fight IQ alone is a huge advantage over other fighters.
I want to ask you about your injury and coming back from the injury. First of all, but just take me to the moment when you injured your Achilles and what goes through your head at that point, because obviously your body is your livelihood. When you have that injury, how concerned were you about what might happen in the future?
Well, immediately, like it was I didn't think it was that bad. Then it was disbelief, denial, just like, nah, this can't be happening. I'm good. I'm gonna be fine. I when the injury happened, I didn't know. I didn't learn about the injury for another few days. I
Wow.
shit. I went about my day as usual. It's like almost as if I rolled my ankle. Then I
Hmm.
went to the fights. I went to the US International Fight Week card. I went set their case. I watched the fights. Went out afterwards. Was out Sunday. My ankle bothered me, but it was like I didn't think it was that bad.
Hmm.
Then I was like, all right, this is pretty shitty. This might take some time. I'm gonna go see exactly what I'm dealing with. And then they told me it was tore, and it was just disbelief. I couldn't. I was something that I couldn't fathom. I couldn't really wrap my head around the biggest concern was making sure that I'd be able to still have a career afterwards.
Sure.
You know, so it went more so look, anger, frustration. Those things weren't really. I wasn't. There wasn't a luxury that I had. My biggest thing was to get on it, get the right people involved, and make sure that it was going to be
How
that
long was it
I
before? Oh, I'm
can
sorry.
no, I can handle it the best way. You know, to make sure that I do everything I can to give myself the best chance to come
Sure.
back.
How long was it before you felt comfortable that you knew you would be back?
Um, when I was talking to people right away, not too many people nobody that actually knows anything,
Right.
right? Nobody actually knows anything. Nobody that's like actual doctor that's dealt with this injury or anything like that. Nobody like that was like, oh, bro, you're fucked, bro. You're fucked. It's over. Nobody said that. You know,
Sure.
I was one thing that was the one thing I didn't hear. The only people that I heard said that was maybe some idiots that don't really know anything, that's just guessing, just saying things that want,
Sure.
you know, how everybody wants to be a know-it-all and
Yeah.
shit. So it was like those guys. But yeah, it was never a thing. I called a few of my guys. I got on with the UFC. They were really hands-on, you know, with making sure I had everything that I needed. You know, my medical liaison was on point. Um, and we just worked together. They gave me my options. You know, I talked to some of my people. I reached out to Miles Jack, the linebacker. He's a really good
Pittsburgh
friend of mine.
Steelers.
Yeah, I reached out to him. He reached out. He talked to some people. Um, Cutman Tate. He's you know, him with being in medical. He knows a lot of people there. Plus his brother plays for the Jets. So he's got people over there. A couple of guys that was dealing with a Achilles injury over there. Uh, yeah, I just talked to as many people as I could to figure out what I was dealing with, the type of procedure I needed, and everything like that. And ultimately, they came up with Dr. Neil Elatraj.
From
Neil
LA.
Elatraj, the doctor, is the doctor that did Kobe Bryant's Achilles. He did Cam Akers' Achilles. He did Kelsey Plum's Achilles. And recently, after mine, he did Aaron Rodgers' Achilles.
Yeah.
So he's the best. He's the who's who of getting of fixing your body. So that was who I went with, and also he was right. He was right in L.A. So it's like a 40-minute flight from Las Vegas. I flew out there, went with him. I actually talked to him on the phone before. I felt really good about his approach and how he dealt with his injury. And I went there, hopped right on it, relocated, found a house, relocated back out here to Las Vegas so I could be right here and use the PI and the medical staff there.
That is awesome. How, obviously Aaron Rodgers injured his Achilles in the fourth play of the NFL season, and there was talk that he was going to be able to play at the end of the year, which that used to be unheard of, right? So I'm sure your recovery was similar to his. Like, when did you feel like, okay, I'm good, I can fight, and if there was an opportunity, like when was the earliest that you felt comfortable and that you were back to being Jamal?
I started hitting the bags and started moving around, doing some light grappling and things like that about a month and a half ago, been in the beginning of January, and it responded pretty good from there. So from there, it's just been building. I've been building towards a camp since then. So
Yeah.
I haven't just been sitting idle. I've been working towards getting ready, gearing up, getting everything in order to start a camp, to be able to push and go hard in camp and to go out and perform like I normally do.
Couple other things, and then we'll get you out of here, Jamal. And I really appreciate your time. What do you think the impact of you fought Glover, so Glover knows you intimately more maybe than somebody else, right? How much advantage is that for Alex, or is it an advantage at all? The fact that his coach knows you so well.
The version he don't know me. He don't know me at all. What did they do that worked?
Yeah.
No, seriously, in that fight against Glover, what did they do that worked?
Yeah. No, he didn't have any
What
success,
does he know?
but he
But
knows
and then also
how quick you are, how strong you are, et cetera, et cetera. What you like to
for him,
do.
certain moves, certain people take different timing. All right, Glover is the version of Jamahal Hill that fought. Glover is not the version that's fighting Alex Pereira.
Okay. Very
You know,
interesting.
that's the thing. That's the thing about my game. I can change my game. My game molds to what I need it to. You know, so the mindset and everything like that Glover faced is not the same for Alex.
Sure.
You
And
know, Glover
finally,
was Glover wanted to get at my legs. He wanted to try to take me down. Alex wants to try to
jujitsu,
take
yeah.
me down.
Right. Yeah, that would. Were you ever wondering in that fight, by the way, just, you're beating on a guy like that, like how is this guy still coming, right? Because you look at
Oh,
it, I mean,
100%. 100% a few times. The third round, whenever I wobbled him with that head kick and he went down and I got on him, I thought that was it. I thought
right.
that was it. Like, all right, just stay on him. He's tough. He's gonna fight back. He's gonna fight back some. Just keep find that good shot, finding good shots, and then eventually he'll go away. But he didn't.
Yeah, that is amazing. Well, we look forward to UFC 300, which is April 13th in Las Vegas, T-Mobile Arena. Jamahal Hill versus Alex Pereira in the main event. It is going to be off the hook card. I don't care what anybody says. Jamal, congratulations
Crazy
on getting
card.
that, and I am looking
Crazy.
forward to seeing you fight.
13 former gold holders on this card. 13.
Isn't that amazing? Current or former. That is, I told Dana last week, I want to tell you this before I let you go. He said, and this is before he announced that you had the fight. He said, we're going to have either 11 or 13 current or former champions on the card. And I said, it kind of sounds like one of those Don King cards he used to have back in the day. And Dana scoffed at me and waved his hand and said, Don King never did that. So I said, I know he did because he used to have some Hall of Fame fighters fighting at 4 o'clock, right? I looked, and the second fight that I looked up, the fight card I looked up, had 11 champions on it. So you guys got it beat, but it was a good one.
Got him beat.
Got him beat. So you're in the big one.
No, regardless of anything, like, yeah, he he dreamed. I feel that Dana dreamed big for this card.
Yes,
He
he did.
dreamed big for this card, like out of the ordinary, unimaginable type things for this card. He tried to get them out there, and then slowly they just kind of fell apart on him, and which is kind of a, I don't know, it's kind of a sad thing because he did a great job with this card.
Yes, he
He did
did.
an amazing job putting this card together. And it's not like they be like, oh, they just threw this together. They spent a lot of money putting this card together.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, understand the type of money they spent to put this card together, to get this fights, to make these fights happen. Like, I believe like one of the first fights on the card, it's like a six-figure guy. There's six-figure guys in these fights. You know what I'm saying?
And two
So
former
it's like,
champions. Yeah.
you feel what I'm saying? So it's like, bro, he did his thing on this card, bro.
No, he did.
I can't remember the last time that I seen a card that I looked down and was like, fuck, I don't want to miss the first fight.
I know. Well, let me ask you this before we wrap. This will be the last thing. Gaethje versus Holloway. I think to me, the BMF fight, that is just an incredible fight. Who you got in that one?
Oh man, I love both of them, bro. I love both of them. I just a good fight, bro. I can't pick in that one. It's tough though. I can give you a breakdown like inside of my mind of how I look at it, but as far as picking, that's a tough one.
Well, Gaethje is the favorite. So let's do it this way. Gaethje is the favorite. People expect him to win. So what does Max Holloway have to do to upset Justin Gaethje? Let's look at it that way.
I think he has to stay sharp and stay in his face, which what Max does really, really well. Use his range to touch him, put him at the puncher, and control the range. He has to master controlling the range. As long as he can dominate and control that range, he's pretty good at. He's got good movement. He's good at counter striking. So I think that go. But on the other side, I think Justin comes out and just eat his legs up to start with. Give him some hard leg kicks. I think Justin should definitely put an emphasis on taking away his mobility, because that's Max's money, his movement, his footwork, and things like that. That's his money. So I think take his legs out.
We got to get this guy on TV, man. He can break him down just like Michael Bisping. Thanks, Jamal. Appreciate you, brother. Good luck on April 13th.
All right, brother. You have a good one.